everybody, it's Cinnamon Cooney, your art Sherpa, and today we are starting month 2 of our big art quest for fairy tales this year, where each month we explore a fascinating, beautiful fairy tale figure. On the mic is my husband, John.
Hi, guys.
And he is going to be making sure that you see every part of the construction process so you can do this for yourself at home. Because, of course, the goal is that you have 12 insanely beautiful paintings to hang on your wall. I'm so excited to show with them the Flower Elf, which is this month's painting. Do you have that image? Yay! Because it occurred to me, I'm like, I don't know I sent that over. It's been a whole little thing, so I didn't know if I did. If you check the description below, you're going to see a link to this particular painting's little page on our website. And as we go along, I try to update the brushes that I use. Like after every class, I try to update everything I use. There's plus a bunch of materials. Is everything okay with okay. A bunch of materials that we're using. We have a list of all the paints that we plan to use for this entire quest. Everything's going to be in an 11 by 14 canvas. We're doing these in small increments so that you guys have a chance to keep up, digest, process through, and have a good time doing this. And of course, I have to start today's class with a sippy sippy because I need some coffee.
I need some coffee, too.
Do you need some coffee?
Well, luckily, I have a cup.
I feel like my ears are perky, but my insides need to pick up. This just needs a unicorn horn, and then it would be spot on. Everything unicorn.
Now, everyone is very much enjoying your ears there. Those are very cute ears you have going on today.
I am very lucky that my daughters make sure that lots and lots of cute headbands with adorable different little ears, fox ears, cat ears, all kinds of ears come in. But I think we're about to start a unicorn phase. Just fair warning, I feel it coming on.
Oh, yeah?
Here are the paint colors that I expect to be using for this whole painting. Some of them may be used just a small amount and may be optional, and some of them we may use a lot. I actually am working through these 3 colors to get all these fabulous red tones. So I have quinacridone, magenta, alizarin crimson, and diox. And it is the combo between these that I feel like I'm going to really nail down all those incredible purple and warm pinks and mauves. I have got some Prussian blue and some phthalo blue. This just gives me this warm blue, cool blue option, which with this painting to create that faded background I think is going to be super critical. I have my 2 whites, which is my titanium white and my zinc white. Mm-hmm. Now remember, if you don't have zinc white, you can use mixing white or any transparent white, and they have these from Craft Paint through Pro Paint. So you have a lot of options there, and I highly recommend it. I have my 2 yellows. This is sort of my cool yellow, my warmer yellow that I'm going to be using in here, and that's going to give me a lot of options. So that's yellow ochre and cad yellow medium. I have just a bit of phthalo green and burnt sienna, some Mars black where I need it. And then to get in my background, I have some of the burnt umber. But first we got to draw this in.
Yes.
And many of you have been like, listen, I really need you to draw it in, which is like, I don't really consider myself a drawing teacher, but I love doing it. So I'm going to do that with you. But if you're like, man, I really don't want to draw, guess what is in the link below on that webpage?
Yes.
Traceables.
So you can get traceable. So even if you don't know how to draw, you don't have to be afraid. You can just get that and download it.
If you're like, I got some painting skills, but the drawing thing is not my buddy.
It's a little scary.
And that's okay. It's scary for everybody.
I'm a little scared of the drawing.
Are you?
Well, let's face it, I'm a lot scared.
I need her to be like not crazy
of the drawing
up here, but she wants to be crazy. I don't know what to do here, man. Don't be crazy, girl. I'm taping up my reference so I can see it because you can't draw what you can't see.
Tape it up.
Tape it up.
Tape that reference up there.
Hang
Is there
with
a clip
me.
still there? I thought I put a clip there.
Hang with me. I know it's burlap and you don't want to hang, but you're a magical elf, so hang in.
Yeah, I thought there was a
Clip it to
clip
the
up there
side.
you could use, though, too.
I
thought I put a clip up there for you.
So I'm going to do something crazy, something I often advise you guys not to do. I'm going to sketch in with pencil.
With the pencil?
Guess why? Because we're going to rock this out like the oil artists do. I'm going to show you how to create your sketch in to your drawing, how to use a tinted glaze to warm or tone the canvas and create a base under which we can make a beautiful, warm, incredible painting with lots of internal glow. Because while I do consider oil to be awesome, I think acrylics can do everything that oils can do, just faster.
Yes.
Not trying to throw down. So I feel like I did by accident. I feel like I threw down.
You're just gonna call all the oil artists out.
So normally, I make a whole bunch of drawings and then I transfer them to the canvas, right? But you've already got that example in your traceable, so I'm going to kind of just show you here how I would do it just directly on. Now, the first thing that I'm paying attention to is the gesture of our elf. She's sort of centered. Mostly she's got, just a little bit of room. I'm going to say 3 fingers from the top. And I'm going to say that there's a curve or a gesture of a convex here where the height of the convex is to the right and the incurve is to the left. That's what I'm going to say in the gesture. And gesture is really like not a stick figure, though a lot of people think it is. It is the energy of the piece. So, oh no, I've done, doesn't lead bleed through, all this stuff. Yeah, that's all pretty much true, but there's a couple reasons why here in this more advanced space there will be an exception. So I'm going to first kind of lay in the egg shape, the round shape that is the head. And luckily she's a very symmetrical girl, so she's not making me work for it very much.
Yeah.
Some of the best, funnest things, though, to draw are people who have lost their symmetry, through age or time or experience.
I've lost my symmetry.
You've lost your symmetry, makes you much more interesting. Now, if you think there's a lot of hairline here, isn't there?
Yes.
We have a lot of hairline up at her head. And then we still have to do her eyes, which are that halfway point, and then her nose and her mouth. So I've got those sort of like blocked in, and I know that, I've got some beautiful hair that's going to be working down and her great figure. Now, she's got, her neck is a little foreshortened, and this shoulder is actually back and behind her a bit. What's nice is that gives us a wonderful slope to come into her, bust area. And I think I'm actually rendering her a little small because I realize I'm going to have a lot of dress here. This is why. But look, yes, you can erase off of, did you know that you could? A canvas, because what we're going to be doing is this tone. So I can absolutely, I've got most everything right. I just need to make it a little bigger to make sure that she fits in here the way I'm wanting her to fit into the space. And that's like something, now gridding is generally the way we do that. We're going to grid on the next painting. I just want to introduce like one new skill a time. So by the end, we will be gridding, glazing, toning masters, but we want to make sure that we have a minute to catch up with everything, right? There we go. Because I want to have this, and of course, the relationship, the aspect ratio of the reference image is not the exact same as the canvas. So I do need to make some adjustments for that. But I just want to get her in and represented well here.
Now, does erasing hurt the gesso?
No. Nothing is really hurt. The issue with pencil lead is that it can seep through layers of porous paint. But we're going to do a little trick here that kind of circumvents that. And it's going to let us enjoy what many, many, many fabulous acrylic artists definitely get to enjoy. I'm going to exaggerate this here. And if you guys want a copy of this particular rendering, we can do that as well. So you can have both.
So this one, in case this one's laid out a little different than the other one?
Yeah, you guys can have, I think the other one, like I spent some time with that. So that's what I often do is I spend a bunch of time, way more than, we could do anything but a time lapse in the show, just getting that first one in and gridding and everything. But this is just me raw freehanding it with like nary wary a care. Which is really just like, I'm not working on my rendering skills enough. That's how we handle that. I'm just pulling her arm out a little bit because we've got this nice elbow hand event happening here, and I don't want to lose that. We know that her elbow, where does her elbow have to go? If you've been painting with me for a while, you know that any elbow that she has really has got to be at her waist, right?
Yes.
You have to fulcrum at the waist.
No. So what number pencil are you using?
Oh, this bad boy. Oh my goodness, I'm way overdone today. I thought it was the 4B. I grabbed the 8B Castile 9000 Jumper by Faber-Castell. Okay, I love these pencils. I have like everything. Everything. All the accessories. This company, Crandosh, there's a couple that I love. That I just think that they make the most insanely cool products. But there's a lot of good companies out there, so I'm not dissing nobody. So I get all these little, I could use my little white eraser. If you ever see these are a little bit different. And they do erase off the canvas a little bit better, if you'll notice. See, they clean up the canvas a bit. Regardless, whatever you use, just be sure to dust off the...
Yeah.
Dust it off. So I'm just going to make sure that I've got this nice sort of wonderful hand event happening here. Which, you know, if we look, it comes across here and it's in this great foreshortened space with 2 fingers that are here. And then she's got a nice little pinky coming out. And some of the palm. This is one of my favorite things to do with hands. The trick will be creating a wrist that's slender. And now you know why I use a lot of tracing paper.
Now you've got some real tricks to doing hands.
I do. Well, because there's a paddle, right? So I'm always trying to think of the paddle. Your hand is like a paddle. See? And I'm always trying to make sure that that paddle is handled. And then I remember the taper of fingers and things like that. And then where, like on this particular hand, if you look where the knuckle run is, which is right here. And it's even more foreshortened than I'm showing. Foreshortened is just the perspective of things. Making sure that my arm is how I want it to be. And even in the photograph, when you look at it, one of the things that was hard to originally render this in is this is such a beautiful but yet challenging angle for a hand. Isn't it?
Yeah.
So it was like a long bit of kit for me to get there. But I'm going to quickly get there. Because the truth is, like, I can do a long pencil drawing, but then when I paint it in, I paint out a lot of my detail work anyways. So I'm always sort of back at that same space. I'm going to make sure I got this pinky in. Now, what's interesting at the pinky, and I probably should put my glasses, is the stretch of the skin between the 2 middle fingers right here and the pinky. So we have to make sure, I was making sure I'm not like doing a not appropriate gestures, my daughter would say. I was like, wait, what? Am I okay? So I'm going to just make sure that that pinky is. Ah, there she is. See? Beautiful hand. Into some branches. So it's not really that challenging or hard or scary. Now I'm going to go ahead and put her head back in. We remember that we have the hairline. Halfway through is our eye line. Halfway through is our nose line. And then halfway between here and here is where our mouth is going to be. Now we know that we've got some elf ears that are going to come off here. So we got to make sure that we've got this. What I love about this one is that this one curved out a little bit. And that really made me happy in every way. I was like, I'll get to do some elf ears. I'm super excited about that. We've got so much roushing to do on her wonderful dress. And I felt like this dress looked as elvish as it possibly could. Did that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Though I think I'm going a little pin-up-y here in the figure this time. Cool. It's fine. But there we go. That's how I would get her in. Now, I have a bunch of plant life here, and there's a little bit that's in detail here, right? We have a little bit that we're going to do in slightly more focus that comes out here. This whole line of plants that comes down, right, and comes in front of her is going to be in hyper focus. Comes off the hand and back up. Then it comes down. There's a bit of a branch a little more focus here. And then what's crazy is everything back here is sort of out of focus, isn't it? So we have some real, this is actually bokeh too, believe it or not, guys. Now, you can see in the reference where the background image comes off her bust, so I'm going to just make sure that that's going to be my background, and I don't have any lines I've got to worry about here. I think this actually comes past her arm. And you know what? Now that I have my branch in and I'm looking, I'm like, oh my goodness, your forearm is so tiny. What is going on? Sweetie, I'm going to fix you. Don't worry. So there's a couple ways that we as artists kind of work our process in, right? And I can tell you from personal experience that there's this idea that if you take a minute to work out your rendering, that somehow, you know, you don't have your kit together. That's actually not that true. There we go. Isn't that better?
Yeah.
Just a weird little deal.
Need a little more reach there.
Just a little. It's just, you know, and sometimes when you see the relationship of objects together, you'll be like, oh, I see it. I didn't see it, but now I see it.
You don't want her to have those Tyrannosaurus arms.
Right? We don't. There we go. I just want to know where my placements are. And I just want to show that to you. So if my hairline is here, which her hairline is here. And then, you know, she's got actually quite a little bit of hair that comes in from the shoulder. I just used the shoulder so I understood where her body parts were. Sometimes I do that when I'm drawing in, is I'm like, I have to draw in more of the figures so I remember their relationship to each other. I'm so crazy doing this live. Does anyone else think I'm crazy doing this live?
Oh, no, everybody really appreciates this. Doing the human figure is something that a lot of people are saying they have trouble with. And any of these primers that you give them are really helpful.
Well, I am really happy to help out. And it's fun for me to do. Even raw and live like this. I'm going to have a sip of coffee, though.
Oh, good.
So I got her all kind of sketched in. She's in there now. You've got your traceable. So you're good if you're not in a drawing or in. And whew, I'm all ready. Are you guys ready?
This is great. Everybody is loving this. This whole series of paintings, everyone is just celebrating how much they love these, and they're loving going with you, and just how cute your ears look.
Thank you.
By the way, that's just I threw that one in there.
I'm actually talking to John. I'm gonna make a bunch of unicorn horns, and then I'm gonna make a bunch of unicorn headbands because I feel like this is the year I am a unicorn.
Unicorn horn.
I've been explaining that to John. This is the year I am a unicorn. Right? Why not? So I'm going to put out my glazing medium. Now this is a slow dry medium and a glaze. You could do just glazing medium for this. I haven't ever actually used this product for this. So experimentation time. I'm putting out some burnt umber. Some burnt. And I'm going to get my big bad boy. This is my number 30 TheArtSherpa Bright. I'm not even going to worry about getting it wet, because I just want this glaze. See how we're doing? Making this thin glaze. And I'm going right over the pencil.
Wow, yeah.
Now this is going to do a couple of things. This is going to tack down the pigment. And it's going to tone my canvas. I have just spent the morning on with the technical stuff at Golden Paint and found a new thing we're going to maybe use. But I have to verify that it's going to work the way I'm hoping it'll work, but I'm kind of excited. Just some insider tips. But you can see where I have my little pencil lines mostly are hanging in, right?
Yeah.
So I haven't really lost any of my sketch, and I'm getting a tone on my canvas, a tone, because a lot of pigments are transparent, because we dry brush, because of everything that we do. Tones can be wonderful because they glow through. And this is going to help give us that space underneath. But it's just very transparent, but it's going to make sure we're not just painting on white canvas. I am shocked at how we're doing on time, babe.
Really good, I think. We're only 20 minutes in.
Okay, so we're going to work for about an hour today. We're meeting 4 times this month, I believe. If I think I have to check the schedule, but I believe that's the case for this particular project, and we're going to need all 4 times. So, here we go, here we go. Oh, is she gorgeous or what?
Yeah.
Notice I'm not really worried about the brush directionality I've got going. I'm more concerned about getting this glaze over the canvas. Things the glaze is going to do for me. The glaze is going to, you know how they have that weird coating on some canvases now? Not like the really high-end ones, but some of the economy ones. Glaze is going to knock that back and put it in its place.
Yeah.
It's, again, going to do that wonderful glow effect. And acrylic paint loves to stick to itself.
This is true. It does.
And
It's one of the dangers of stacking them up.
as it dries, it's going to stabilize this graphite. So it's not going to be all bleeding all over into your stuff. Advanced methodologies here.
So by stabilizing, I mean you can paint over it and it's not going to smear or run.
Or color, discolor your skin tones. And like, if you sketch in pencil and then just go to paint, especially on that first level, what starts to happen is the graphite pigment gets into the paint and tints everything. That can be a problem. And sometimes it will bleed through.
Gotcha.
Like if you put graphite on and then gessoed over it, it bleeds through. So this creates a stability in there where you're not having that happen as much. And because of the way we sketched her in, nothing that's even going to come up is going to damage her. So we get to play like the oil people play. Because, we can.
Mm-hmm.
We can. I have to dry her, though.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
That means that I have to
Talk to everybody.
Okay. So, I'll say, she's drying that off so that the next layers that come in here don't smear or pick up the undercoatings. And don't forget to, if you're going to be drying this at home, don't use high heat. Use your low heat. It's really just the air that really does the drying on this. And if you're looking for your resources from today's lesson, it's on TheArtSherpa.com. You'll find a link to that in the description down below with the project for today's page. You'll find the link to the traceable, the reference image, this video, along with any other videos that we do along with this, because we're going to break this up into multiple parts, like she said. You'll find all of those linked together on the same project page. So, just check it over here in chat. You guys are really chatting today. So I'll also say, if you guys have a chance, definitely come and hang out with us in the live chat. That's a lot of fun. We cover lots of different things over there. Some things on topic, some things not on topic. But that's okay. That's what we like to do. So don't forget to join us there. And, post the pictures up. My gosh. I keep forgetting to ask about that. I think last time I completely forgot. I love seeing your guys' paintings, especially these fantasy series. These are really exciting ones. There she is. Sippy. This must be really, must be very tacky or not drying very fast, because normally she goes faster than this. So I don't know. Or maybe she just wants to make sure it's really, really dry. Or maybe she's just torturing me, trying to make me be out here with all of my fears and anxieties. Right? Yeah, because I don't have stage fright at all. Right? Okay, so, post your pictures up. Talk about something else, distract myself from my own. Post your pictures up on Facebook or on our website. I love seeing those. This has been one of the really exciting things about this series of paintings, is I've loved seeing all of your guys' work. Definitely want to see more of those. And thank you guys. Thank you for being so wonderful and supporting in chat. I love you guys. You guys are always so nice. Let's see here. We got a calendar of events up on our website that you can go check out. Those are up there. You can find out about our ATC club, which we do, and artist trading cards are these. They're my favorite way of collecting art. Let me turn you back on. I was like really trying.
You must have been like, what is happening here?
Well, how come it took so? I'm just curious. Why was it taking
because
longer?
this is a slow dry medium.
Oh.
So it takes longer to dry. Now listen, pro tip.
See, she was torturing me.
This is a
I told you
super
guys.
pro tip. I I'm not that concerned about what happens to the painting in 500 years. I'm going to be super dead. So, even though John doesn't think we are, he thinks we're going to be augmented and still alive. And if he's right, I will be apologizing for this. But I believe I will be gone. And I'm not that worried about it. If you are a pro painter and you're wanting to make sure that there is absolutely no circumstances under which any of these graphite lines can ever be seen through, you may want to use an isolation coat instead of just glazing liquid.
Isolation
for 500 years from now.
Okay.
Your lifetime, you're probably fine.
So in the description below, we'll put some information on isolation coats.
Well, we have a whole thing on that. We have a whole second video, and what I'll say is it's stuff like Liquitex gloss, medium, and varnish. Companies will usually let you know if they're an isolation coat, and pro artists generally know what they are.
Okay.
You and I don't have to worry about it. We're going to be all dust in the wind.
Okay.
By the time anything remotely happens. And I have this policy, like if I'm not even going to be here for it, I can't be that upset over it. I am putting out some colors to mix my background.
And I'm going to have to say that, like, if you're using any of the good quality modern paints, they're pretty, like...
The thing is, like okay, so this is like the best company ever, but, we haven't seen any of this stuff in 500 years yet because acrylic paint isn't that old.
Right.
That's all it is. Though, understand they're super obsessive, and chances are that they've looked into this.
Right.
And have as close of an approximate answer as you could have without a time machine. I'm going to put out some zinc white and probably a mix of also titanium white. So this is the zinc. And I'm going to put out my titanium white. I'm going to see if I can't start working out my blendy background. I think I'm going to do that with my number 8's cat's tongue. I'm going to do that there. With my number 8's cat's tongue. All right, so here it is, number 8 cat's tongue.
Oh,
I'm going to get this wet, drag off the extra water. I'm going to grab just a little bit of my pure oak burnt umber, and I'm just going to come back and put in my little ground line that we know kind of ran from the bust area through here. And then I've got another little interesting line that's coming down here of these little landscape lines. So that just gives me some stuff. And then other than that, I'm going to be just blendy, softy, blendy. Lots of softy, blendy all through here. Because
it's
we got to get this whole like background kind of worked out. So I'm going to take a little of my burnt umber and my Doc's purple. I may add even a little alizarin to it. Oh, that's lovely. See, we're already in the money here. And maybe some zincs. And I'm going to start talking about some of this here. Like you do. Just bringing some of this purple space down. And we will be at this for a minute, guys.
That's okay.
So just relax. I'm going to, paint around my girl here. And I'm going to just scumbly, see how I'm scumbling this in. And you can already see how the background is showing through, can't you? Isn't that crazy? But this is going to give us, like, when we're all done, the ooh and ah of this piece. You can see me I just wiggle my brush back and forth. I haven't gotten any new paint, have I?
You're just scumbling away.
I'm just scumbling away. First layer. Scumble. And that's why it was important that the layer underneath be dry and bound, is because without that then...
Oh, because if you scumbled on a wet layer, it would just mix up.
Yeah. I'm not even going to rinse my brush. I'm just going to get some Prussian blue on it. And some zincs. Some zincs, guys.
Nope.
All right, let's see. I'm testing it on my... I'm going to start working this space with this sort of blue tone. And this is what I'm doing. I'm just like looking at the tones. I'm saying, what are you all about? We're about some blue here, but I feel like it's lighter, so I'm going to get some more zincs. I might even get some glaze. I don't mind if my burnt umber gets on here. So many layers to think about.
What? I just saw something interesting, chat. I'm going to say art hugs and high fives to Unicorn Girl, who's having twins.
Unicorn Girl! It's the year of the unicorn. I'm telling you, it's all about the unicorns. All about them. Unicorns. Congratulations on your twins. That's a very unicorn thing to do.
No.
Have twins. Just saying.
Beth was asking, are you using a paper towel to mix your paint on?
No, this is, I think I have the cover still on this. We love this for the camera, but this is also actually really good if you do any outdoor painting or have some bright lights. This is the Gray Matters Paper Palette by Richeson. Good company, very good company. And they make this palette. I like it a lot.
Yes.
And I can see my colors very accurately in it, which is just a joy. Just like painting is a joy.
Mm-hmm.
Look at me, I'm just scumbling this little creamy purpley blue color up here, aren't I? Just this first layer. Oh, it's going to be so pretty when it's done. Yeah, do we have to work maybe a little bit as acrylic artists to get our blendy blends? Let me get a little blue on here. Yes, we do, but do we mind? No, we don't, because this is like the tortoise and the hare. We're going to get there in the end. I don't know why I compared oils to the hair, because oil is not fast. You have to wait like 4 months between drying times. But you know what I mean. Patience is like a really big virtue in painting. I love that I can do that with this brush. This scumbly thing makes me super happy. And I'm just still picking up a little of my Prussian, a little of my glaze, and a little of my zinc. You can totally imagine how, if I use titanium white, how completely opaque that would be, right? That would be so, so opaque. I'm just loving this. So I've got this next little layer here. Who doesn't love that? I'm going to get a little more blue on my brush. Maybe a smidge of the purple. Dox is a really powerful color. Some of my brown, my umber to knock it back. I'm going to come down here and look. I'm going to put this sort of dark color right here. We're going to be softening this a lot. Right now we're just saying, hey, there's some values here. We see them. We're working in them. Now, this time I'm going to get a little more purple on my brush. Put some brown on there, because I want this area to go more to the purple, because it does on this side of her, doesn't it? And we can see that. It gets lighter as it comes closer to her, but we want to just have this soft little interesting bit of paint coming in. And you can see how I made the color lighter here is I just didn't pick up more paint. I just didn't pick up more pigment. Now, even though we have a bunch of detail stuff up here, we have this background we have to contend with that's a lot deeper and blendier that's back here. And I'm going to say that that's going to be more in the purple alizarin umber space. And I'm going to start putting that in.
And this is still just that purple.
Yeah, she has a lot of purple. There's a lot of purple in this piece. Also, you may have noticed there's just a lot of purple in my artwork going on right now. I'm blending this out, and you can see I'm just scumbling and dry brushing and just trying to make sure that we have the beginnings of this deeper value happening here. Lots going on. We're just putting in that first layer.
You know, it's
should look like a hot mess about now.
Now it's really interesting. You use the colors of the foreground in the shadow color.
Yeah.
And that's because I guess darker things recede away from you.
Darker things will recede. They'll go back. Cooler things recede. Warmer things pull forward. So these are the little instruments of arty goodness that we're going to use to create space. Focus pulls things forward. Depth pulls things forward, like how deep the color is. Chroma, things grayed out, they're farther away. If they're super saturated, they're closer.
Now, Misty asked a good question.
I'm going to just keep softening this. Soft, 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 soft.
Now, it's so Misty would like to know, is that scumbling potentially damaging to that cat's tongue?
You know, I have some really super bad news. Painting with your brushes is super damaging to them. I'm like not even being a smart bottom. I'm not even being a smart bottom.
Brushes are wear items.
They are a wear item. I know that in watercolor, there's this whole like you can gift a brush to your grandchild and have it be like amazing. So buying a Kolinsky Sable brush for $400 is not as crazy as it could seem because I mean, it's like an heirloom.
Yeah.
Unless you're vegan, and then that's just horrifying. Because you would be like, no! But if that wasn't your thing, you could gift that and, you know, if you could get around the price. And I never blink twice when a watercolorist tells me how much they spent on a brush because I get that it's going to be their whole life. It's an investment for all of their art.
Yeah.
Acrylic brushes are a consumable, like the paint. Is that crazy? But it's true.
No. But what I will say is that to answer directly to your point, I missed your point here. I have seen Cinnamon use these, and the filament that was used in this Taklon filament fiber that they have, they blend engineered
on the planet.
It is a mean filament. You're gonna have a hard time wearing it out. It will.
I mean, you're gonna have to take these to the brush spa. I've got a whole bunch of products that I really like to use, and I definitely reshape them. And if you scumble a ton of time, you can start to see this end getting softer.
You have to go forward there so they can see it on the screen.
Okay, so it'll start to get softer, right? But these are all ones that, like this one has been through the brush spa. This one is stained. So it's really about keeping the paint out of this space and taking care of them. And it will elongate their lives. These should go longer than most brushes will in acrylic paint. Simply because, yeah, this is a really authoritative little fiber.
All right.
Which is why I was like, I need something rough and tumble. Now, these suckers, the clouds, which I should have called the scumblers, I don't really see what you're going to do to them. I have been so abusive to these, and they're still just like happy little clouds. In fact, the more you abuse them, the better they get. I don't know how long they're going to go. They're like the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop for me.
We've got about.
I'm going to blue this up right here.
Yeah, we got about 20 minutes left here.
Well, we're just gonna paint.
we're gonna get some of that background bluing in.
Yeah, we're just gonna work it in. We're working our backgrounds in, and we're not even gonna stress on it. I've taken some purple into my blue. I'm gonna add a little brown to it, like you do. Get my little glaze on here, and I'm gonna start just putting in some of this little background. Underneath, these are going to be all underneath the really focused, highly detailed bits that we're going to be laboring through later. Not a good sign for you when I say laboring through. But you're going to love it because you're going to get a good result. I've been seeing the results for Nyx. You guys are getting her done. You guys are succeeding in her. And so you know you can nail the flower elf. And these are getting more complicated in some sense as we go on. But, see I'm making these random little pattern shapes. When John figures out how we can get the digital pad to like draw in real time, I'm going to be able to go, look at this shape. And then you guys are going to see it and it's going to be awesome. But apparently that is so hard to do. That's what John told me. It's super hard. And if John says it's hard, it must be nigh impossible because he says everything is easy.
We have ways.
So it's like when Egon says it would be bad. I know it's a serious thing. So if we ever pull that off, you're going to be like, wow.
We're working on it.
Wow.
It's got
we
stuff
have the stuff here. We just have to figure out how to make it equip. But you don't get it till the new studio. So that's, which involved so much more cleaning than I expected. You?
Yeah. There was. Wait a minute. We need this space, so all the stuff that's in this space has to go someplace.
And then once we start moving it, we probably better catalog it because we're gonna show you at some point. There's a video I'm trying to make, hopefully for the 300,000, but we'll see when we get it done. Which is the road so far based on Supernatural. I have been bugging and pesting John about this video that I feel like we should make. It's a lot of work. but I'm excited about it. I'm just, see how I'm cooling this back here, and there's the cool and the warm. And this brown underneath is going to keep an overall warmth to the piece, which is going to be what makes it feel like the beginning of spring. So you're learning all kinds of things that you're going to be using in your art. See how I'm just creating that tint, that tone down there?
Mm-hmm.
Build it up. Build up your layers. Okay, I just have to say thank you to this company for making this product. It has just changed everything. I used to just have to paint so fast. I'll be like, I will be the fastest painter ever. But now, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm just like, what?
Now you're the glaziest painter.
I love it. It blends, it glazes, it layers. It just leaves me alone and doesn't mess with my stuff.
Only thing it doesn't do is microwave your coffee.
Give them a minute. I bet they have a new feature. I'm taking this cool color into this area that I have, and I'm going to start pushing some of this cool value softly. Look how softly I'm pushing it in, though, because this needs to be blended back here, doesn't it?
Does it?
Yes. It needs to be out of focus.
Oh, well, then yes, it does.
You want it to be so out of focus. You want it to be out of focus. Lots and lots of lack of focus. Why am I singing? That's not the show. I'm going to take a little of my Prussian and my glaze. That's not my coffee being reheated. Whose coffee is being reheated? Is that your coffee being reheated? Mine's on a heating pad. Well, I'm just saying, for somebody that just talks smack about reheating coffee. Smack talking.
I didn't know that there was there was smack talking happening of coffee.
See how this is still, I can pick this up and pigment this in? That's why you know this is a slow drying medium. Because it's still activatable. It didn't skin. Isn't that interesting? I think that's interesting. I'm just taking these little colors and I'm just softly working them into this background. It's more light over here, so I'm aware of that. But I know I've got some dark spots that are coming up here.
I was just reading someone said something.
I'm going to add some quinacridone in here to see how it goes. How does it go? I don't know. Oh, here we go. The quinacridone's actually for some of these weird high mauves, but I don't know we're going to get to it today. See, I'm just looking at the shape that's here, and I'm starting to think about it and put it in the distant, very softly. My brush, if you look, is not pressed hard into the canvas. I'm not like,
Yeah, when you get it, which medium are you using there?
This is golden glazing liquid, slow drying extender for acrylic colors. It glazes and it slows down the drying time.
And you
it is the bomb.
That's in the description below.
That is always in the description
Okay.
below. Always, always, always. Because I dig it. Right now, I mean, it's like the one I got my mom all into. I like when I start getting into these products, I'm like, Mom, you gotta try this one. You gotta try this one. Try this one. You'll love this one. So it's just like, it's so good you share with family. That's how good it is. And you're my family, so I want to share with you. I don't know. I'm just starting to layer our little values as they go. I know I've got a nice one happening here. How are we doing on time?
Pretty good. You got about 15 minutes.
Oh my gosh, we have tons of time. We could finish the whole painting in 15. Wait, let me go full speed. You guys are cool, right? But just see how we're just... And we'll be at this again probably next time still. Because, life. I'm going to get a little of my pink. And I think with some of my Prussian. Look what this does. Isn't that interesting?
Some
Isn't
Prussian.
that beautiful? It's a little warmer. And I knew we'd need it for her. It's a little warmer than the Diox. See? So it's kind of a lovely little deal. And you do this. And I'm just trying to create this like, ooh, this lovely, lovely, lovely. Look how bright that is.
It is very bright.
So what do? We can get some of the...
Now you're creeping off the edge of the screen there, so you just have to be careful
Okay,
there.
so I've added some burnt sienna. Let's see what we got down. Oh, look at that. Lovely. So this is just about these little colors. Now, I had looked at this and it actually, I was like, oh, it might be doable with like 3 colors. But we're going to take on that challenge later on another project. Because that's so much of the value mixing. So isn't this wonderful? We're just getting that range of warmth right there. So that was totally worth having out. And I see some of it over to my right. So I'm going to put some of it over here. Just enjoying my little mixes and my little lipsums. Lipsum? I don't know what it is. Horribly awkward moment while painting. Brought to you by the Sherpa. So I know it's just a bunch of smeary nonsense, isn't it?
Yes.
I'm going to rinse out my brush. And I'm going to get a smidge of my Prussian. And I'm going to get a lot of my zinc. I might get just a titch. Just a titch of my burnt. Okay, where are we at? How are we not all on canvas? Okay, there we go. Just a titch of my burnt.
Sorry.
And let's start...
You're way up there, man.
Highlighting in here, right? Because we know we've got some highlights down the center. We've got to lighten this up. So the burnt sienna keeps this from being too bright, and this starts to create the light area in the background, and we're doing it very softly, and we can, because we're glazing, we can layer, and that diffusion of effort here starts to become pretty spectacular. And
I was reading the chat.
Mm.
So Stephanie was asking,
Hi, Stephanie.
how come you're limiting yourself to 1 hour?
Okay, so here's why. Here's why I'm limiting myself to 1 hour. Because that lets you guys have a minute to process what happened and keep up. If I go 1 hour, so like if we were in a class, if we were in a paid class,
Yeah.
we would have an hour class. And in that class, right, we would cover about this amount of material. You guys would, see how that's looking. Oh, that's starting to come together. You guys would paint along at home, not home, at the class. And then you would take your work home, continue to resolve it, get it to wherever you can, and then we come back and meet again in the other class. And what's wonderful about that is that when you're learning something new, you need a minute to like bake on it.
To process that data.
Process it. Yeah, you do. Really do.
Yeah, it's really good to sleep on things that you learn a little bit. So
super good.
Yeah. Just like learning any other skill.
Any skill at all. Just pulling that in. Layering this up. So this is just going to be about these layers. And there's going to be a bunch of them in there. When they all finally come together and we contrast this very diffused background to this very, very defined hard edge. So in watercolor, it's very similar. All the watercolorists in the room will understand this. In watercolor, you live in your whites, you live in your soft edges, you live in your hard edges. And what that means is like there are lines that are very crisp and defined and really pull the eye. These are the focal lines. And then there are diffused lines and patterns that happen, and that creates the sense of depth and emotion that we're looking for in a painting. This painting, much like watercolor pieces, will live between those two spaces. Live and die between the diffusion and the hard edge. The thing is like trying to explain this to people so they understand and can make actionable art choices. Right? Because it's great that I know it, but the thing is, can I show you how you know it so you can start using these as actionable art choices?
You're keeping me on my toes here with the
Am I?
buttons. I'm like, jump, button.
Jump.
Button. It's okay. That's what I'm here for, is like to push the buttons and read the chat. I'm just sometimes a little slower than I should be.
What's going to be crazy is as we go up and then over here, there's a little bit of phthalo, a smidge that comes into this. And it's going to be so insane, like how it will pull and warm up some of the stuff. But you know, you gotta build it up. And you gotta glaze it up. Paint it wet into wet, or you glaze it. Some people get it to like a certain space and then they just go over it with colored pencil. Do you remember, God, what was he was our friend, he did all the Disney posters. What was really good artist?
Yeah, Bruce Eagle.
Thank you, Bruce Eagle, which we have an original.
Yeah, I think I have a couple Bruce Eagle originals.
Yeah. So, or prints or something. We have some Bruce Eagle.
Well, I have some prints, but I know I have a commissioned original, and I think I have one he gifted me as well.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Because I love his work. The thing to realize is you can look Bruce Eagle up. He's a Disney artist. He does airbrush, acrylic, and pencil. And the layering of that medium is like amazing, the blends and things that you can get.
Yeah.
Just fantastic. And I always think like, well, if an artist like Bruce Eagle can do it, we can all do it.
Yeah. I mean, it's Bruce did those really cool, like what you would think of as classic sci-fi fantasy covers of dragons and, you know, fantasy creatures. Just, I mean, and is really, really good. I mean, that's...
What's happening here to me is I had too much water on my brush. And it's creating little bubbles on the canvas.
I was just zooming in there on that.
That's what happened. And so my fix for that is to wipe off the brush.
Sorry, I was just waxing on about Bruce.
Bruce,
there, so.
no, I would wax on about Bruce too. Bruce is totally waxable. He's the most wax-tastic. I don't know, saying crazy things. But anyways, my point is some very skilled artists use that methodology. There's nothing wrong with it. It always cracks me up when somebody comes by and they're like, that's cheating. In art, there's cheating in art when nobody got the memo, dude. How can there be any cheating in art? That makes no sense. None.
Because there are clearly so many rules in art.
So many. Just pulling this down. See me just pull this down, right? I just grabbed that purple. So that was the burnt umber in the Doc's purple, and I'm just softening this and pulling this down. Guess what I'm going to do down here? Oh, you know it. I'm going to soften it. Softening, softening, softening. I'm lightening and softening. Is this starting to get diffusey? Gosh, I hope so. We're going to be at this a minute. I think that's why a lot of this type of artwork ends up on a time lapse.
Because there's a bit of it to it.
Because you're just at it a long time. And then a lot of times I'll be watching artists on a time lapse. And I wish you guys could see my reactions. Because they will paint out their stuff like all the time. They like paint it in and then they paint it out. And then they paint it in and they paint it out. And I'm just like, ah!
We're having a little buffering there.
The best bit will get painted out.
We're going to have a little buffering issue here. So hold on just a second.
Okay.
You know what? We
could go now.
We know what we may need to do is we may need to go ahead and crap this up because we're seeing some buffering issues. And we're at the 53-minute anyway.
All right. We're at 53 minutes. We're going to meet back up next Thursday at 11:30 Central Standard Time. Same bat channel, same bat time. And we're going to paint on with her. And by the end of the month, you're going to be framing and hanging something on your wall that is going to shock you, your friends, your family, everybody around you. And if you don't, they don't deserve to see that painting anyways.
Right.
Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. I'll see you tomorrow for that fabulous wine glass painting, which we are doing in an hour. I want to see you with Easel really soon. Bye-bye.